Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What it do, everybody? Welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network on a Tuesday. My name is Neil Rule. That guy, he's a big D over there. Darren McCarty, because his name is Darren. Get it, everybody? Sam Flannel here in the building. He is on brand. He is on budget. We got Spencer Raxter here in the house per usual. And I have to do a pre-apology to Spencer because Spencer really holds the glue of everything together as far as like the roadmap for the show and what we're going to do and all that stuff.
Gorilla Glue?
Yeah, something. He would be Gorilla Glue. Yeah, yes. No doubt. I'm talking about that stuff that comes in like the industrial tube that you need a caulk gun to use. Like you can glue your driveway back together.
He said caulk. C-A-U-L-K.
Yeah. Yes. Caulk. Yeah.
Caulk.
Caulk
Spencer
gun.
Makes sense. Yeah. Seamless transition.
1,000,000%. Like you could glue your driveway back together and the cement would hold. That's what Spencer means to the show. And I have to pre-apologize to you because as we talked about in our pre-show video, I had a draft epiphany this morning. We're live at the Planet Fitness Studios. Fitting enough, I was on the treadmill at the actual Planet Fitness, and it just popped in my head. So,
well, good things happen. Obviously, P-Funk, Planet Fitness. Were you getting your spin goblin on this morning?
No, I was on the treadmill.
Oh, you're on the treadmill?
Yeah.
Well, that's likelihood. But I think, you know what? Our boy's up for the challenge.
Big Culk energy.
Yeah, that's it. Love it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dabber again.
Yeah,
Dabber,
number one.
It's officially a streak. Man, he might have... He's going to challenge... We were talking about people challenging Miguel Cabrera or next person 3,000 hits. He might have 3,000 in him. I believe in him. Keep showing up.
3,000 in a row. But happy to have you all with us. And as D-Mac said in our YouTube channel, if you're watching there in the chat thread, tap in, jump in, drop your comments off there. We use them, man. We like to get to them. We want to hear what you guys are thinking. I know a lot of you don't have the time or whatever to hang on the phone or hang on hold or stuff like that. I just skip right past that. We roll in, and we will take your comments in live time. I'll try to get to as many of them as possible. Smash that like button, as our good friend Tammy Chin likes to say. Go ahead and smash that like button. Do your thing. Twitter handles on the screen that you're watching right now. Get involved. However you want to get involved, value your input, value your opinions, depending on what your opinions are. If they disagree with me, I still value them. I'm weird like that. And judging by Twitter yesterday, D-Mac, there was a certain segment of people that disagreed with my opinion on Twitter. So, and there's a couple guys in particular, but,
the Diggler didn't like it. He,
no.
Came out of the hole.
Yeah. So, and I can't read these because we're on radio on 93.5 The Roar, but you guys can read them right now if you choose to. Not safe for work. I'll just say it like that. But, I'm here for the hate. I can deal with the hate. I'm cool with the hate. I don't care because, they still let me in the studio today. Last I checked, the check cleared. I'll be all right. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. But I was surprised, though, D-Mac, the amount of pushback I got, the Al Kaline versus Miguel Cabrera thing. And it wasn't I didn't make it a versus thing, but you know how this works. That's how it always ends up.
No, it always is. And I think that you mentioned something, too, is the Professor Terry Foster would, take more of a deep dive in. And our conversation that we let everybody into that we had before, but it's, in this town, it's maybe the appreciation for some of the greatness that's, come through it because we are all about championships, but a lot of times is that we attach ourselves to players, like myself, the guys that are the
grinders,
the grind line, the guys that pretty much work, synergy with the guys on the line or the, punch in, punch out and do that. I think it's a relatability, to the point of if Miguel Cabrera had 3,000 hits in other markets, would it be a bigger deal? Yeah, I think that, it's sort of not the bigger deal. I think it's just where different things are more important, right? We've had super talented guys. I think you mentioned it to, you related it to the lack of love that Sergei Fedorov got. And I think a lot of the different times too, what counts here more than anywhere else is the intangibles, right? The little things. And you mentioned it, Al Kaline going into the corner of Tiger Stadium, throwing somebody out. Well, the fact of saving that run and Miguel Cabrera hitting a home run is the same thing, and how much he does it, but that doesn't matter because of the person, because of the Mr. Tiger, because that stuff really matters more into the culture and stuff. So I think that maybe Mr. Diggler was a little bit harsh on you, but I think that what I love is their passion, and you make everybody feel either way. Same thing that Adam does in the morning, right? And you're entitled to the opinion of how you've seen it since you have. Other people, I wish I would have saw Al Kaline live. I wish I would have been able to see that. I think it more too gets in the conversation of generational players, at which generation, if this guy would have played here, if this guy would have played here. I mean, that's why favorite lists are always subjective. But the fact that Miguel Cabrera had 3,000 hits in this era, and where's the next guy on the list? The fact that Albert Pujols has 6 more hits than him and 1,700 more at-bats, there's just something there to spotlight it. And I think that's what you were trying to say.
And that is it, really. When you boil it all down, is the greatness. And I don't think it's recognized. And I think to a degree,
to the level it should be.
The greatness of Steve Yzerman, I believe, when he, as I've said many times, third best player on planet Earth for a long stretch of time.
And
I don't think
he would have continued to be, and not brought championships or whatever, then he would have been that great player, Hall of Fame player stuff. But he wouldn't have, like, when you think that the culture, the leadership, the man, and everything that goes behind it. But people don't remember the 80s as much unless you were around, even if you were a younger kid born.
But all these people remember Al Kaline for some reason.
But that goes to the greatness of Steve Yzerman. It all goes into the package.
Yeah.
He didn't get worse. He evolved.
Yeah, but it's just for whatever reason, and Sergei Fedorov getting booed and those types. Yzerman gets hurt, Sergei steps in, wins the league MVP, like boom, right away. Maybe the best two-way player in the history of hockey.
Well, slow it down, Buckaroo. But
the best two-way player.
In a season, not in a career, and maybe in a season. But that's I'm not going to let you. We're going to. Pump the brakes there, buddy. We can't. I can't go through the Rolodex. But definitely,
when we get into our Fedorov retirement show.
But again, what goes down? Why is there's some sort of bitter taste? People have bitter taste in their mouth, maybe for some of the off the field things that Miguel's been a part of, and that's just the way it is with Steve Yzerman and Al Kaline. These are the men in the city, as far as for those organizations. So it's pretty tough to knock that pedestal around.
Clomp sauce, best two-way forward ever.
Okay, I mean, you're gonna make.
I gotta throw it. No, I'm not gonna do it yet. We'll save that show, D-Mac. We'll save that show for the summer.
Get your list together. He's definitely in the argument, but
Okay, we're gonna get to that show.
Yeah, we could do a Sweet 16 of the best two-way players.
What about Pavel?
I mean, Pavel sounds like fun.
Led the league in steals on multiple occasions.
Hey, why don't Eric? I'll get Drapes in. He can host that show.
There we go.
That's right up his alley. He won the Selkie.
Neil Rule Second Furnace. By the way, I love all your YouTube chat names now. You guys are making me laugh with this. Neil Rule Second Furnace. If Miggy wins a ring there'd be no doubt he was the best Tiger ever.
I think that's the caveat, right? Where people went in their score sheet of everything else.
Well, it's fortunate for Al Kaline. He had Mickey Lolich. And unfortunately for Cabrera, he had Justin Verlander.
Is this not true? Let me go to Sammy Flannel.
That's going to get heat. I know that's going to get heat.
You brought up the stats yesterday of missing so many games. He did bat 376 in the playoffs in the World Series that year.
I mean, that's fair, but it also shows that they had a team, because back then the best.
What are you saying, that Miggy didn't have a team here in 13 or 6 or whatever like this? They had.
I'm saying, here's the deal.
What
when
I'm
the
saying,
moment
the deal
came,
is that what the person texted said that if there was a championship ring on Miguel Cabrera's finger, there's a whole bunch of other people saying Miguel's the greatest Tiger. That's the bottom line.
But unfortunately for Miguel Cabrera, he had Justin Verlander,
Mickey Lolich,
and fortunately for Al Kaline, he had Mickey Lolich,
Right.
who, by the way, beat Bob Gibson into the ground.
It's unbelievable that baseball's a team game to need everybody to win the ring. I'm just saying, why the perception, right? Because, again, you're talking about individuals, but you're bringing it over into what team matters to take it as their greatest Tiger.
AC says Neil hates Verlander more than Mateen Cleaves. No, again, both things can be true. I don't hate Verlander, but when the moment was the brightest and all the chips were in the middle of the table, he wasn't Mickey Lolich. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
That's what Miggy needed his team, like Al Kaline needed his team to win over the edge, and then this conversation probably isn't as much happening. But again, is that you can't. It's the same thing as we're gonna have the argument once this Red Wing team and they start winning cups again, and in 10 years and in 15 years, this guy's better than Steve Yzerman, and this guy was better than Sergei Fedorov. Then you can blow your lid on those ones, right? Because they didn't see them play.
Why do I hate Mateen Cleaves, by the way? Great college basketball player.
When did that name come up?
They said I hate Verlander more than I hate Mateen Cleaves. I know what it is, because I said Joe Dumars should have went straight to the Hall of Fame as an executive because he got a draft pick and a player for Mateen Cleaves.
I mean, that's just true, though. Mateen Cleaves is terrible. He's
like years
in
ago?
the NBA. Great player from Flint. Happy for him. Last Big Ten national championship over 2 decades ago.
That's fair, but Mateen Cleaves in the NBA, he was worse than you even think. He's one of the worst NBA players you'll ever of all time. Like, god awful.
Sure, but whatever. I don't hate the man.
I mean, he, like you said, he was the leader of that 2000 Michigan State team that won a national championship, and for that, I know Michigan State fans like Spencer will always hold him in high regard, as you should.
Matt O says because he eats cream of wheat. I cannot comment on whether or not he eats cream of wheat. I do not know that, and that would have no bearing on what people can eat cream of wheat if you want. It's just where I get upset is when you lie.
People can eat it. I just don't believe anybody does.
Yeah, right, bingo.
They're loud, but nobody does.
Feel free to eat it. It's not going to make me think any less of you. Like, for instance, big fan of Spencer, big fan of Sam Flannel. If I found out they ate cream of wheat, that changes nothing in my book. But I know if they tell me they do, I know they're lying because they want me to get worked up about it, just like most of you lie when you say you eat it. That's it.
Well, I feel comfortable enough now to tell you that I have never eaten cream of wheat.
Well,
and I
no,
never
because you're normal.
will. Yeah, that's fair.
And if presented options like apples and cinnamon oatmeal, you're going to choose apple. You're going to choose that because
no
that's
doubt.
the way you
Quaker
are.
all day.
You know what it is?
Maple and
though,
brown sugar, that's what you're going to go.
Wrap this up before we go to break.
Yes.
About Miguel Cabrera, and even just the hits. The whole thing is taking the 30,000-foot view and just saying, wow, baseball's changed, right? Baseball has changed when you see that the next closest guy or the guy that theoretically has the next best chance still has only 1,800 hits.
Yeah.
But that shows me that how the game has evolved over time because, back in the day when we're talking about Al Kaline and we're talking about these guys, there was more guys that were going to hit 3,000 hits and more of the longevity of the game.
You know what else it is, too? And I want to get to this real quick before we go to the break because it's accurate. And we don't talk about it, and I don't think we notice it. You did have guys miss 2/3 of a season, obviously because of the COVID thing. You did have most of spring training eradicated, so we're seeing slower starts for everybody this year because of a labor stoppage and things like that. Like baseball has done these types of things as well. And you're right, the game has changed. Here's where I'll leave it with, and this is my point to the people on Twitter and everything like that about Miguel Cabrera. We will never see in our lifetimes. We will never see arguably a top 5 hitter in the game of baseball play for the Detroit Tigers in our lifetimes again. We won't see it. We'll see another guy like Al Kaline. We will not see another top 5 hitter with top 5 numbers. The only guy to ever do stuff, or the only guy to ever do stuff with Willie Mays and Hank Aaron. We will never see that again in our lifetimes.
But if we do, right, you know who's going to be there to protect us? Oh, you know, I know. Guardian Alarm. Yes, they keep you safe and give you peace of mind. Whether you're at home, on the road, at the ballpark, wherever else, 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what is important is safe. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Let them know in the coffee shop, in the back, and everybody, because everybody deserves peace of mind. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Obviously, they're working at Sammy Flannel's 40-some days straight. You can too. Call 1-800. Stay out. And let them know. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports, sent you. Be right back.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Syntron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter. We got Sam Flannel in the house. Also, happy to have you all with us. Don't forget, our draft party going down for real Thursday night, Brass Rail. Get down there. It's going to be electric. Let's just say it like that. We'll all be down. It'll be all hands on deck. Can't wait to hang out with everybody. And look, I feel like we're all going to land the plane on Thursday. You know, like we've been flying around the world a couple of times, and we're finally going to land the plane on Thursday.
We just don't know which country we're landing in.
Who's gonna give us clearance to land?
Clarence.
Yep. Again, we had this great show lined up, which it's still going to be great. And Spencer did the work that he always does. And we are live at the Planet Fitness studio. So fittingly, I was on the treadmill at Planet Fitness, and it popped in my head. And I was listening to a couple of different podcasts about the draft and stuff like that, and doing the work. They were all more financial angles of the draft. And it really hit me over the head this morning when I heard everybody talking about the number of teams who don't have first-round picks, the number of teams that are, shifting, presumably, who they want to take, where they want to go. And the bottom line through all of it is the number 1 overall pick will get about $41 million guaranteed over 4 years with a 5th-year option. And then it kind of, as it steps down from there. You know what? Nobody wants any of these players. That's what it is. That's what popped in my head. Nobody wants any of these players. And I would assume a lot of it has to do with that $41 million guaranteed over 4 years. There's nobody that's worthy of that. Like, we keep going back and forth, and we keep beating each other up, and why don't you like Malik Willis? Why do you like Malik Willis? Why do you not like Hutch? Why do you hate Michigan? Why does Thibodeau like Bitcoin? Why is Jordan Davis not being respected as a serious contender? The Lions better not draft Sauce Gardner. They should draft Sauce Gardner. All that stuff. We've all been going back and forth. We've all been beating each other up about it. And the bottom line is, nobody wants any of these guys.
No, it's true.
They don't.
It's true, and it's sort of we've seen this with the shift with the wide receivers. You know, the Tyreek Hills being moved, the contracts being thrown out, the Devontae Adams. The new way, this goes in, to me, it goes into your draft capital. This is all part of the recipe and moving things in and how you're going to manipulate that. And if you look long term, who's been doing this probably the longest, you look at the Super Bowl champions.
They never pick in the first round.
The Rams do it. They haven't had a first rounder. What, Aaron Donald or?
It's been around that time.
But they don't
yeah.
miss with the ones they have. And you know what? You talk about Aaron Donald. Well, it's teams ahead of them are kicking their butt, but they have that sort of strategy. It's sort of staying ahead. A lot of times, you look at it. Everything's a copycat league. Right, everything's a copycat league. You look at different things. Oh, can they implement a college thing in the pro? You know, they try to do the not the wishbone, but the wildcat. You know, different teams like this because it worked in college. Teams trying to stay ahead of it. The draft process and the trade process is just all a different arm of this, more to the cap space and stuff like this. But I think to your point, Neil, it magnifies the fact that they don't care. They don't value these picks this year. I mean, and to the point is that I've heard legitimately 8 different guys that could go number 1. I've heard 25 different names in the top 10. What I'm saying, if we're going to, talk about the draft, is I think whether we're down to agree that if the Lions be prepared for Malik Willis, right? Be prepared for this and that. What they're probably going to do is take a defensive end. But it leads it down to the 32 and 34 picks. What are they going to do with that? Is there an opportunity to take 2 solid guys with those picks or package those picks and trade back into the draft and get a guy later that falls? Why is the guy going to fall? Well, on your board, out of the 25 guys I've heard in the top 10,
they can't all go in the top 25. Can't go in the top 10.
10. So there's the caveat in this draft, and I think it's probably built with more plumbers. And more plumbers, I mean, you need plumbers. Plumbers are guys that fill out the lineup. And so this might be a draft where we look back and go, oh, yeah, he's a good guy. What do we always want? We want guys that have stats. We want guys that can play. This might be a draft that there's more 6s out of 10s than there is a couple high standards, maybe 7s or stuff like this to play. So, again, it all comes back, no matter what we talk about, what is Brad Holmes' game plan? Because if you see all this panic and all these other teams trading out of the first round and getting rid of their first round picks, then somebody's not. So you can't tell me there isn't 1, 2, 3, 4 players in this draft that are going to be Super Bowl champions, that, one of them is going to be the Hall of Famer or the All-Pro. It's just that we pretty much say it might not be the first overall guy. In fact, this year might not be a top 5 guy, right? You know how that plays out. So that's why you're scouting. That's why you look at your team. You look at the lines and go, well, if my team is supposed to be about my general manager and drafting in drafts like this and getting late guys in late rounds, well, this pretty much sets up for us, for him to do a good job. It's so the playing field is the way that he likes it.
There's no shame in bringing home a 6 every now and then. You can't always grab a 10.
That's a man that knows.
Yeah.
That's a man that knows right there.
This is work hard, bro.
No, but in our YouTube chat thread, by the way, Tammy Chin's and everybody, they're talking about name tags for the draft party for all. I support that fully.
Hey, Maddie, we need name tags.
Well, no, Tammy's saying I can make that happen, and Mike G says, Tammy, everyone has to use their chat name. That would be awesome.
Yes, everybody has to use their chat tags so we know who you are.
That actually would be awesome. I would support that. That would be a lot of fun. But I mean, for me, and Oakland soccer coach Eric Pogue, him and I are friends, and he has a great line that I think goes well with what you were talking about. He said teams need piano carriers and they need piano players. And, the Fedoroffs and the Yzermans, those are the piano players.
Yeah.
But
You're
you need
looking at a piano lifter.
yeah, you need a piano carrier. The guy's got to get the
How
piano
can
in the
they
house.
play the piano properly if I do not put it in the right position?
Right.
It's the acoustics in the room. I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Put it over there. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, lift it up and set it down. But that's the bottom line with this draft in my mind. Nobody wants these guys. That's just it. And that's why we're seeing the back and forth about who's going to take who and things like that. This draft.
So in this draft, do you want them to go, you want the solid draft, the guys that you think when you come out go, okay, I can see he's going to play. He can be a player. He can be a player. Maybe that the ceiling isn't that high. Or, see, because for me, I'd rather go safer at 2, and then whatever you do at 32 and 34, that's because of where all the action in the draft is going to be.
No, see, actually, I'm the opposite.
You want the opposite?
I want the opposite, and here's why. And here's kind of the hot take for the day. It's this. It doesn't matter to me what the Lions do at number 2. For real. It doesn't matter to me. That's locked in. It doesn't matter what they do. The key to all this, I would say, the key to this franchise being competitive for a playoff spot in 2 years, a playoff win in 2 years, lies in 32 and 34. That's where it is. That's what's important to me. That with this draft, everything hinges on that. And look, for me, if you want to take a spin at number 2, you want to do the Malik Willis thing, cool. I'm down to roll with it. I'm cool with it. I'll go ahead and I'm on board with it. Whatever you guys want to do, it's not as important to me as 32 and 34 are. Long-term contracts, long-term amount of money being spent, all of it, that all ties in together for me, because I think it's more dangerous to go with the safe, solid guy at number 2. And why is that? Because I'm not interested in paying a safe, solid guy $12 or $13 million for year number 5. I'm not into it. I'm not giving an average player that kind of money. And if there are players that nobody wants in this draft, why would I want them if it comes up and they got to make $12 or $13 million a year in the 5th year? No, I'm not interested. It doesn't matter to me what they do with 2. It matters what they do at 32 and 34. If this franchise wins a playoff game in 3 years, we'll go back to this draft and we'll look at 32 and 34, and that was the linchpin of why they did it. I'm telling you, man, mark it down.
So is it position? Do you believe it's more position, or do you?
No, I believe it's best player.
So how about this? How about we have, if the best of both worlds, is this a possible situation? They take Willis at 2, and then they package 32 and 34 and move back up to like 15, 18, something like that, and got a guy like Jordan Davis. How would you feel walking out, or do you want 3 guys? Right, if you take Malik Willis or take the flyer, do your 32 and 34 have to be individual players, or they have to be guys that are going to be here and play? No, those are your Amon-Ra St. Browns.
That's what I want.
You want
that's exactly what I want.
32 and 34, at least one of them, or both.
Just whatever guy is going to get to their second contract and punch above his salary.
Okay,
that's what I want. That's all I want. I don't care what position they play.
Isn't that funny, though? But because here's the thing. You're not asking for the home run, right? You're just asking for a solid, just put the bat in the ball solid, just need a base hit.
I want a guy that's going to outperform his salary, because that's how you win in the National Football League. That's how you do it.
And I think that's baby stepping instead of saying, oh, we need the Hall of Fame or the Pro Bowl or this guy.
And you know how it works,
we need somebody that's going to progress, and get to that second
On
contract.
Thursday, half the room's going to groan and half the room's going to cheer. And it doesn't matter what name they say at number 2. It doesn't matter. But in my mind, 2 is nowhere near as important as 32 and 34 are. In my mind. Hey, Big Boy's Signature Buffet is back. Treat yourself this and every weekend, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at your local Big Boy. All the favorites, 2 kinds of eggs, the bacon, the sausage, the Polish sausage, garlic mushrooms, grits, red skin potatoes, waffles, hot cakes, French toast, fruit, more. Spencer, nothing that Spencer would like better after a heavy night on the town than to roll into Big Boy for the buffet. Probably about 12:30.
Oh, yeah.
To slide in at the end there and just go to work. And you can do it too. Weekends 8 to 2 at local participating Big Boy. Big Boy, a Detroit institution.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer in the building. We have all of you on our YouTube chat thread. And guys
in the back, I was going to text you. Be better. Be better. We're not trading back. We're not trading back, please. Is that right? Did I do that good?
Yes.
Dude,
stop.
Next time I'm going to single you out.
Stop with the trade back talk. We just got done all coming to agreement that nobody wants any of these guys. Stop with the trade back stuff.
I think it was Mikey stirring it up in the back. Mikey, you stirring it up in the back there?
We need to stop with this, guys. We are all in agreement. Nobody really wants any of these guys. Who's moving up to take any of these guys? Who? We just got done saying nobody wants any of them.
That, Neil, we know, right? We know that somebody's going to panic. Somebody's going to panic. Somebody's going to go off the rails, so to speak, and need to jump up. To me, the intriguing one in the draft, and we could talk Thursday. Big show Thursday with our NFL guy, Scott Bischoff. But Carolina and their need or want with the quarterback, with the owner that they have, because he's you know, you look at different owners around the league, and he's somebody that is a get me this, get me that, I don't care what you're doing. We've seen a few owners like that too. So when push comes to shove, when they're on the clock, you never know. But I don't think the trade, it's like trade talk right now. I think it's something that has to come up more so. There's deliberations right now, don't you think? Deliberations. I know somebody mentioned that Brad Holmes said that the trade talk had died down, which means that he's probably going to trade it, right? Which is a good feeling. Like, that's what everybody's saying. If he doesn't say it, that's what you want out of your GM, because in the past, it'd be if he said that there's no trade talk, we'd be like, there's no trade talk. But be better in the back.
One funky Lions fan. The mid-rounds are where you find the players that make your team go. If you miss on day 2, you really don't have a chance. Exactly, because this is a franchise that has missed on day 2 forever, like since the 90s. Forever. Yes, since that song was popular, was the last time that they hit on a second round pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is, and that's why for me, guys, and it's a consistent message
for so long.
Where I've said this from the day I stepped on air here at Woodward and to the day I leave here at Woodward. That's where it all comes together. That second round pick, that third round pick, into the fourth, that's where it all happens, because the contracts are cheap, and when the guys are good, it's a value. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, as I always like to say, Spencer, will make less on his entire Lions contract than Kenny Galladay will make in September. And I'm always going to come back to that. That's step one right there. Now give me about 4 more of those guys, and away we go. And that's how it's going to go down. And AC says, I don't want solid at number 2. And I agree with you. And I've spelled out my reasons. Like everybody else can say what their piece is, but I want the reasons. I want the reasons why. My reasons are because I don't want to have to pick up a 5th-year option for Noah Fant. That's why. For solid. I don't want to overpay for solid, because not only will you overpay throughout the life of the rookie contract, you'll overpay on the option year. That's how this works, guys. That's how it works. It's financial. The cap is real. Contrary to some people's popular belief, yes, the salary cap is real. You can stretch things and pick up cap space. That's how the Rams and all these other teams are doing it. But the Rams are doing it because they don't pay first-round picks, because they don't make first-round picks. Keep up, everybody.
No, it's true. Again, fork in the road. Which way are you going to do it? And I just think that we're in a unique situation. So whichever way we go, at the end of the day, we've been saying it all along. We need production and the eyeball test to have whoever we do choose that they're playing. And if it is a quarterback early, well, you know that there's some sort of development. But again, like Neil, right now, direction of this team, right, in its infancy right now, what would you say direction you would see? Are they 20%, 25% going in that direction? What I want to see after this draft is more of a, 30, 35, 40, like, we're picking up on the road here. We're picking up steam.
I would go higher because of the philosophy. Because
doesn't that play into perfect, because that caveats my point to the philosophy that we've been shown at a small dosage, to the fact of the philosophy it should continue to play out, and maybe the percentage might jump even more. If I'm at 30% right now, I could go to 50% when I see them actually enact another draft.
I'll be honest, I might be overvaluing it. Because, again, I go back to that line. If you're starving and somebody throws you a cracker, it's the greatest cracker of all time, to quote Eddie Murphy. Now, maybe...
crackers. I'm eating crackers.
That's a different kind of cracker. For me, it's just I'm so excited to see the modern philosophy, financial philosophy, draft philosophy by the Lions right now. I'm so excited. I might be overvaluing it, but I feel as though they're farther along because they've made the commitment to it.
Right, and if this is like Tetris, right, where you're putting the blocks together and then you're turning them and putting the blocks together, this draft, right, which ties all back into your talk about the non-value, the trade-out value, the LA Rams, the first rounders. If they get these drafts right, because what these teams did is they got their drafts right and their players right and their money right at the beginning in the foundation, then you can dip into the trades. Then you can look and make in the Deebo Samuel moves and this and stuff like this. So we need another solid year of putting what we did last year together and finding these players to move forward. Then your value moves up because your money's right. It all plays in. So, got to put the horse before the cart, right? So we got to get this draft right, and then we'd be talking into these, maybe making that deal legitimately for a deal.
Yeah, that's down the road, though.
Right, that's down the road.
That's not even next year.
But if you get
unless the team forces, unless you're so successful with the draft that it forces your hand.
But it's not successful. It's getting the money right and getting the players right. Because if you have 8 guys out of this draft, no matter what it is, solidifying your team, there's 8 more guys moving forward with the guys that have improved. So I'm just saying that you can sort of see, like you said, the culture that they're putting in place. They have to prove it again with another solid draft. Can't rest on the laurels of what you did last year. So it's the trust.
On our YouTube chat thread, I'm Salty says we hit on Kenny Galladay. And I'll tell you what, I'm Salty. When I first read that, I kind of laughed and said, what is this guy thinking about? But you know what? I really thought it through. And you're right, we did hit on Kenny Galladay because we're not the ones giving him $18 million a year. And we got a comp pick for him. So you're right. We did hit on Kenny Galladay because he's not here anymore based on the production. So we did. You're correct. We did hit because we dodged it like the Matrix. Kenny Galladay was coming at us, and we just did the music, the techno music was playing.
Yeah, for the Lions in this regime.
We were just like,
I get it, but old behavior is to sign them and have that money locked up. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, you forgot.
Yeah. That's what we did with Kenny Galladay. So you're right, we did hit and comp pick too, right? Like,
oh yeah.
So yeah, they got that. And again, Amon St. Brown will make less in his entire contract than Kenny Galladay will in September. So you're right, we did hit on Kenny Galladay.
So think about getting another one of those guys this year, right? Picking up another Amon St. Brown if you can get the money right. The interesting thing, Neil, is like a year from now when the clock goes down, going into the next year's draft, we should have a lot more of the picture to see what we have.
I think that clock is where the Red Wings are now. I think the Red Wings clock is at 34 of 34 now because they have young guys in place that they're known entities, You know what Mo Sider is. You know what Lucas Raymond is. You have $40-ish million in cap space. You have a lot of draft capital. I'm not calling for them to make the playoffs this year, but I'm calling for it 100% undoubtedly the following year.
Yeah,
put
so I
my
think that the clock for the Wings
into your
is
mouth.
82 games going into this year. It's after next season. To the fact of what was brought to your attention is you lost more than you thought you were gaining. Because, yes, you hit on to the Siders and the Raymonds, but you have one defenseman on this team. So now it's what's
God,
coming
that
up
hit-
and
that
what
hit
you're
my
adding
soul
in,
yesterday.
But you didn't lose because that's why your war chest, your savings account, right, was put there because in all likelihood he can go out and spend the buffer money. Because look at what Steve Ives was put there. The guys who have been the buffers, the Mark Stalls, just who came here, play styles and game. It's those piano carrier guys, right? Stevie's really good at knowing his piano carrier guys, right? To support. It's finding out which ones are the stars. So I believe that you're absolutely correct, Neil. I expect them, like, if anybody starts watching in this last week of the NHL, this is the last week of the season, so this is final
Thank
playoff
God.
seedings. Who's getting in? It's nutty to see what it is, and then the playoffs start. But we should be talking about next year. It's like, oh man, if we win 2 of these 3 games, or we got to win these next 2 games, we can make the playoffs. We got a chance. That's what I'm looking for. So here's the thing. Wow. Clocks are coming. Clocks are out, and clocks are moving.
Big old
and
clock.
things are happening.
Yeah, well, it is, and it's just, and I would say that the Wings are at the 34 of 34 because now the Lions are still in this process. We're still seeing them flush it out. There's 2 assignments for Brad Holmes, and he understands the assignments because he knows that he's got to get the books right and he's got to get the talent right. When Steve Yzerman walked in, he had to get the books right. The Franz Nielsen's making $6 million still. Low-key, one of the worst contracts in the history of Detroit sports. Low-key. No one ever talks about it, but I do. And as long as I live, I'll say that's one of the worst contracts I've ever seen. I'll put that up there with the Jordan Zimmerman stuff and all that stuff. It was awful. The numbers don't pop, but Franz Nielsen, in no lifetime, was a $6 million a year guy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Come on,
He
bro.
definitely didn't produce for it. We know that.
Come on, bro. I mean, he was in that contract to me was in that Jordan Zimmerman stratosphere.
Yeah.
It just was. But that just goes to show you there's a couple of layers. That's why I think the Red Wings are there. I think the books are flushed. I think the talent is either here and on the way. Now it's time to ride. Just like after next year for the Lions, won't call for them to make the playoffs that year. Won't call for that. But now we're ready to roll. I will call for it the next year. I will call for it the next year. I will. Hey, when you're going to call for the time to jump in the sports betting game, like the NBA playoffs going on right now, the NHL playoffs coming up next week, baseball in full swing, there's no better place to place your bet on your favorite teams than mybookie.com. When you sign up with a new account, use a promo code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit up to 50%. That's right. They'll give you some free skin in the game, if you will. So if you got some stuff you got your eye on, some long shots, maybe in the playoffs or something like that, feel free to fire away with your bonus using the promo code Woodward at mybookie.com. All the live betting, everything, slick interface, everything you need to roll out at mybookie.com. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a problem with gambling? Call the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports. We all know Cade should have been Rookie of the Year. But you know the saying, Detroit versus everybody.
Uh-oh, Cunningham all by himself.
Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live from the Planet Fitness Studios. D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel. You ain't got Spencer in the house as well. All of you on our YouTube chat thread, jump into the chat thread there. If you're watching on YouTube, send us tweets, by the way. Twitter handle's up there on the screen as well. But you know we're going heavy NFL draft. But I did want to get to this because I've seen about enough. And I've seen about enough for a very long time. And we were going to get to this yesterday, but time got in the way. We couldn't do it. But I do want to talk about this because I feel as though it's a problem. And I think I know what the answer is, but I don't think we're ever going to see the answer. You guys see Angel Hernandez, MLB umpire. You see his act on Sunday Night Baseball in the Phillies-Brewers game?
Sure, before we play this, caveat, there, as you can see in the stats, they do. You can go on a website for the umpires, and they show you the umpires' gradings, right? And they've done this for a few years as how they're called or sort of how they're judged, what goes back to the major leagues on, I guess, if the computer was sort of used, right? To track to see where you can see, hey, did this guy really miss a lot of calls? Did he make a lot of calls? So they've been doing this. So this is the evolution and the difference, right? From back in the day where in the NHL they went from one ref to two ref to review to everything like that. Baseball's got review, but this is the accountability. I don't mind it. Now back to your Angel Hernandez. And Angel Hernandez, if you know a ref's name or a umpire's
Never
name,
good.
it's usually a bad thing, right? It's usually or something other than, oh man, that's the guy that ref for 25 years. Or unless it was nostalgic. Angel Hernandez, his name comes up too many times.
It's never positive.
Never positive. So sorry, I just want to give some backdrop. So he was at it again.
Oh, 100%.
And I watched this game live.
Look at D-Mac watching Sunday Night Baseball.
I love, dude.
Sunday Night Baseball's
I'm
cool.
A baseball fan, and I like what the Phillies have put together. Right? I've been a Kyle Schwarber fan, and I like to see that he's getting healthy. So the fact that he was a part of this, and here's the thing, Neil, right? The only saving grace, and this happens on the ice too, is what you want as an athlete it's called the same both ways. Well, it was inconsistently garbage for both teams. And this is the worst thing. When you could complain to a ref or an umpire and have a beef that both teams are arguing about, and as you can see if you're watching on our YouTube channel, that's the last of it. Kyle Schwarber, the pitch at the end was a ball out of the pitcher's hand, and he lost his marbles right there.
Not even at Milwaukee.
No.
Actually said, you've been awful for them, you've been awful for us.
And that's the whole thing, the transparency is that, these guys know it, and it's just, you've had enough. But to the point, Neil, and I think on that stat sheet, it's what did he was like at 88% or 89% for the game. That means that he misses one out of every 10. That
he called strikes accurately at a 77% clip. So he missed 1 out of every 4 strikes. The umpire in Major League Baseball missed 1 out of every 4 strikes. That's egregious, man. Egregious. And why? And this guy's protected all the time. And I'll never understand it. At what point do you have to be good at your job? So I have to be good. You have to be good. Sam Flannel, you guys got to be good. If not, you're gone.
Mostly when you look at the stats, when you can track them, these Major League Baseball umpires are usually in the mid-90s to high 90s, correct? And when your percentage, like you'll see, he missed. I'll always see, he missed one outside by an inch in the third inning on a 2-1 count, right? So you see the consistent. The inconsistent of Angel Hernandez is why he gets protected, but you're missing 1 out of every 4 in the major leagues on national television, on the game of the week, on the one that everybody's supposed to be watching.
That Darren in Royal Oak or Darren in Fern is watching on his Sunday night, kicking the feet up.
I was watching on my phone. That's how dialed in I was.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
That's dedication.
But was there repercussions to this?
No.
Because nothing yet. So does this not, to me, this gives the argument to bring in robots, get it right. I mean, because after a while, the frustration of, I know that it's happening to my team and it's happening to your team, but it's not about you. It's about the game. It was a great game.
The crazy thing is, Kyle Schwarber is not facing a suspension from the MLB. So that
tells you all you need to know.
We know he messed up. Angel Hernandez missed a pitch by 6.5 inches. It was 6.5 inches out of the zone. This isn't a 1-1 game or a 1-0 game.
And you know what?
Like you said on
and
Sunday
that
night.
one was so egregious, right? But it was the fact that there was a rookie at bat.
Yes.
And the fact that it was Herrera or whatever, but the fact that it was so, and you could see on the kids' faces, like, it was almost like, did I just get punked? Like, did I just get punked? This is Major Leagues.
I did
know.
like the look on his
am I-
face.
Like the look on his face, and that's the difference between a veteran like Schwarber, where it's sort of had enough. And
His
I don't
contract's
know, but
guaranteed,
is that
yeah.
not too, like, as much as baseball has going against them or trying to win fans back, this can't help, can it?
No.
And especially, it can't help being on your nationally televised game, meaning that if somebody's going to watch one game, it would be this game.
D-Mac, how do they put this man back out there? Can you imagine what Twitter's going to be like that night?
Yeah.
The next game he does, and every game's on TV now, so it doesn't. You can't hide him. At what point do you have to be good at your job? At what point?
I think Spencer brings up a great point. The fact that Schwarber's not suspended or fined or whatever like
Tells
this,
you all
'cause
you need to
usually
know.
there's other, like, we could pull up baseball arguments like back in the day, Sparky, Earl Weaver, guys spitting on each other, stuff like this. But the baseball would usually stick up for the umpires, and you would see this in sort of when we didn't have replay, so it would be a bang bang judgment call you can't see. Now, today's day and age, you have to be better. Right? Or else the accountability of the game. The only, I was trying to bring, to think about in hockey.
And I was going to ask you, did you ever have officials that you walked in and
see,
you knew?
I'm the diplomat. And you know why I had to be the diplomat or whatever it was just, I was the one that tried to make the peace or the talk, is because our captain, your captain, whatever, had the shortest fuse there was. And being Steve Eisman, could he ever get away with saying stuff to different guys? And it all had to go with respect. It's different guys you had to deal with differently. But I was always the diplomat, more to speak, because and my
So you're
whole,
the
my whole
peacemaker.
thing was
Okay.
You got it wrong, you messed it up. Go watch it, and we'll talk about it. And the best thing was, or if I'd be saying didn't do it or whatever, and it'd be like, okay, you got me, I'd admit it. You had this respecting, or the refs would go back, and if they would watch it, right, and say, okay, I missed that one, or watch this guy, and then you just get this respect. But the best one ever, and I wrote about it in my book, My Last Fight, True Story of a Hockey Rock Star, of Steve Eisman, right? Because he would say, like, he would get frustrated, and he would not hold back his temper, and different guys would have, Wayne Gretzky was the same way. They'd have a little bit more leniency. Well, it was one night we're playing in St. Louis, right? Rob Schick, who we all liked as a ref, but he was having a rough game. And something happened, Stevie got stuck or something, didn't call it or whatever like this. And they went at it, and the stuff that Stevie said, like, should have been tossed, maybe suspended, whatever, like, just went after him. And Stevie never forgets stuff about reffing back. He doesn't forget anything about anybody, right? So he's gonna bring stuff up, like he'd be the worst ex-girlfriend, or right? Because he'd be bringing stuff up from, like, when you were 6, right? But anyways, he's got it, and he'll bring in guys he knows that and stuff like this, irrelevant to the fact that he went deep. Schick looks at Steve Eisman, the only time ever anybody's ever done this, Neil, and he tossed him. Kicked him out. 10,
Really?
Not even that, kicked him out of the game. I never seen Steve Eisman, like, and you've seen it before, where somebody's really mad, and all of a sudden it's like, what? What did you do? You just what? No, you didn't. What did I do? What did I do? You can't be serious. And then, so you have this little point of coming down and giving a chance to say nothing else. And he said, no, I just kicked you out. And then it's like, Yeah, well then, and they had to literally escort him off and he was still coming back. Wouldn't come back on the ice, but going in the tunnelway. And then he'd come back down, and then so guys would end up pushing him more, and then he'd have his gear off, and then he'd come back down, and he'd be yelling until finally they got him through the door. But that's as mad as I'd ever seen him. But that it goes that way, and then after. In the hockey circle or the way that it was, you see them chatting before the next game or whatever, laugh about it or stuff. And that's the heat of the moment, right? But to the fact that, and you got to understand, with certain you can get away with certain things as long as it's not disrespectful. Now, a guy like a Bill McCreary, the minute that you didn't say Mr. McCreary or you profanity ever out of your mouth, didn't stand for it. He was the parent, so they're all different. But moral of the story, you got to be way better, especially today's day and age. And the NFL refs are, they have the spotlight on them in the same way. To this argument, or to this conversation or whatever, and isn't it a joke that the biggest league doesn't have full-time refs?
Oh, no doubt.
No, but it goes
We've talked about that before.
We're talking about these are full-time employees. Angel Hernandez, these guys making these mistakes, right? Repeatedly mistakes. And they're full-time employees on everything else. So I don't know why it happens. It's just, it's got to stop because, again, baseball, shoot yourself in the foot even more.
On our YouTube chat there real quick, Chuck says these players' contracts are riding on them getting their hits or getting on base, stuff like that. Jeremy Anderson says Jeff Nelson had a 68% accuracy this year. See, that's egregious.
You're also talking about guys that I've watched since I was 12 years old umpire. These guys have been around for so long. Maybe it's time to get a new breed in there. These are names that I know that.
I know.
You know what?
Well, that's what it is.
Time might be getting by.
That's
guys
what
are
it
throwing
is.
a little bit harder. Maybe they can't pick it up as quick. Just saying.
Guys got to be able to keep up, man. And look, that sounds harsh. I understand that. But you run your course. You do. You run your course. There'll come a day where this industry passes me by or passes D-Mac. Like, that's the way it works, guys. Got it. And no one knows better than you. You're the guy that knows the most. They got to do something. You can't run that man out there again. You can't. He'll be destroyed. He'll be destroyed on social media. He will be destroyed. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. You can get your Planet Fitness membership that'll get you in the door at your home club, all the way up to a black card option, $22.99 a month. Gives you access to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses around the world. Unlimited guest privileges as well. Use of all the amenities. Also, no matter where you go, there's a Planet Fitness close by. You can join in club. You're going to pass two of them on the way home. Pull in the parking lot. Join up there. If you're really motivated, jump on your computer. Go to planetfitness.com right now. $0 down, $10 a month. It's Planet Fitness, D-Mac.
Where your fitness is essential.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Neil Rule here for Chili Peppers Tanning. Join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll get all the best deals. They'll beat all the competitors' prices by at least $5. 26 locations all around the Metro Detroit area, so there is one near you. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. See which one of the 26 locations is closest to you, and there's more on the way as well. It's Chili Peppers Tanning. Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here in the house. We're going to get back to the NFL draft stuff because, we can't escape it, guys. We can come up with all these great ideas, but the people know we're getting down to the 0 hour. It's moving day for the NFL draft.
It's what the people want.
It is. It is exactly what the people want. And, it's just one of those things where you look at what's going on. Trayvon Walker yesterday came out. He's now a pretty significant betting favorite to be the first pick by the Jaguars. Nobody wants any of these guys. It's madness. I think it's absolute madness. But I did want to touch on this real quickly. There was more Michigan basketball news. Moussa Diabate, Caleb Houston both declared for the NBA draft, but they will keep their eligibility because they didn't sign with an agent, which is kind of a stupid rule now because you can get money for name, image, and likeness. Why can't an agent just sign you to a name, image, and likeness deal for their agency company?
I never got it. I didn't.
Why would you not want the student athletes to have access to the most information possible?
I don't know, Neil.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's the answer I wanted. That's the answer I was looking for. Because that is the answer. Nobody knows.
When I heard this, that they were coming out, but they didn't get... I was like, wait a sec. Isn't that the whole NIL deal? Or I thought exactly what you said. Well, can't they represent? What if they say, hey, come to Billy Bob Sports Management?
Yeah.
Isn't that an NIL deal that agents could do? But maybe not. The bigger question is... the first thing that came to my mind is, well, didn't Hunter Dickinson just decide that he's coming back to Michigan and stuff like this? And if these guys aren't going to be impactful or high choices, wouldn't the conversation be to come back? I guess I go to Sammy Flannel here. Are these guys that we want back? Or, first thing when I heard this, I got to ask Sam. But why do they not need agents? That's what my conversation is. The NIL, that doesn't seem right.
Both of them, they're so limited, and I think they could both be second-round picks. Would I take them back? Yes. Do I think it would be... Well, it's not up to me, obviously. Would I want them back? Yes. Do I think they could benefit from another year of coaching, tutelage, all of that? Yes. They both have things about them that were just... They have a lot of upside, they have some talent, but they have things about them that are just maddening. I have a quick stat on Caleb Houston really quick. It absolutely blew my mind. He played in 34 games. In 15 of those games, he made 0, 1, or 2 field goals. And in those games, he was 17.9% from the floor and 14.1% from 3. That's vomit-inducingly bad. And that's the type of stuff we're talking about with Caleb Houston. He has upside and potential. He can shoot. He can play off the ball. He's a wing. NBA values wings. He can play some defense. But his production...
Sam, but if it came down to it, he would get drafted before Hunter Dickinson.
Boy, that is...
He would. He would.
Well, because he's a 6'8" wing who can shoot. And who he didn't show he could always shoot, but he could be streaky and he can play defense. And a 6'8" wing who has those skills is much more
valuable. Who can guard a pick and roll to some degree.
So are they entering the draft to seriously get, will they get drafted? Is this...
It could be that they're just going through the process to get an idea of what the process is like. To prepare for combines and stuff like that, to see what they need to work on for the next year.
Now, is that different than in years past?
No, that's always happened.
Okay.
Guys have done that in the past. Just for me, I don't understand why they can't sign with agents now. Why would you not want the expertise? And look, I know the book on some agents and all that kind of stuff. I understand that, but I think we're moving past that now, aren't we?
Oh, you think it's the kid's decision more than it is a rule?
No, they won't let them sign. They have to keep their eligibility, their amateur eligibility, not sign with an agent.
But what if the agent uses them in the NIL and has them representing the firm?
That one's above my pay grade. That would be my first inclination as to what I would do. But whatever.
So we're on the same wavelength question. Anybody who can answer that question, Maybe a conflict of interest or something.
Brandon Katz, by the way, talking about the officials and umpires and all that kind of stuff, says leagues should publicly release their grades of umpires and officials. I've always said that. You know what? I'll take it a step further since we're talking about college basketball players. I've never understood why an 18-year-old kid has to go in front of the media after they just lost a national championship game, but an official never has to talk to anyone, and if they do, it's behind closed doors. I've never understood that. Why do they not have to answer? An 18-year-old kid does. Why does an official not have to answer and say, here's what I was thinking, this is why I made that mistake?
No, it'd be nice to hear, because I know as a professional athlete, like I just told you before, is that on the ice or stuff like this, the conversations you have.
D-Mac, it's the ego thing, right?
But we have these real life conversations when the referee is a real human being person that's trying to do the best job that they can. You build up a rapport and stuff like this, and you know, there's other times where they say, I didn't do it, and he went back and looked and says, hey, no, you're not getting away with it tonight. You didn't call it last game, yeah, but tonight's a different day, right? So you're looking for, like, sort of the reason. You have these conversations. They are human beings. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they are protected, Neil, means that there's no accountability. So how do you take somebody who isn't held accountable seriously, right? But it's always been the same way. So what do? Right? They take the human element out of it instead of making referees or umpires accountable like players. They just put it in the computers and take the computers and then move it more towards to instant replay, talking about minor leagues putting in a robotic strike zone. You know, like there's a common ground everywhere. But the fact is that these guys, at the end of the day, they got to be better. If you're a professional at your job, here's what I love this line. My wife being the neonatal intensive care nurse with preemie babies, saying, "Hi, yeah, in my job, I'm a nurse. If I don't do my job, people die." You don't do your job, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's down to that accountability to just do your job. Or be accountable to it, right? Because we all have we wouldn't like it, but if Angel Hernandez came out after the game and just said, you know what, I really struggled that game, and I didn't see the ball right or whatever like that.
Because, D-Mac, if somebody, and I've always said this, and it doesn't matter if it's an NHL game, it doesn't matter if it's you talking to your wife or your wife talking to you. If I do something, D-Mac, where I mess up, and it inconveniences you, if I walk over and I say, D-Mac, I'm sorry, man. I made a bad move there. Right. Where do you go? Where do you go from that?
You don't do it again, right? That's what it is. So
yeah. I don't understand what the problem is. Yeah. The cover-up is always worse than the crime.
Right,
always.
And here's the one thing, right? When it comes down to it, when it's consistently bad or, you know, for both sides, it sort of gets more washed under the table than it does if one side's getting the calls or not. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
It'll just sort of go on as apropos or business as usual. Angel Hernandez will be umping somewhere tonight.
Yes, he will. Talking about this whole Michigan basketball players declaring for the draft situation, and you know they didn't sign with agents, so they could, quote, maintain their eligibility. Daniel Gray says because they don't want the student to leave, so they don't give them all the info. So I mean, you know, but there is stuff to that where. You know, I think the name, image, and likeness is helping NCAA basketball because of the Hunter Dickinson angle right now. He's coming back because it's probably more lucrative for him to come back on a name, image, and likeness deal or whatever it is, or whatever amount of money he's making right now. It's more lucrative for him to do that than to go play in the G League.
And more lucrative to that and to develop his game even more, the defensive part of the game. I know from playing my last year junior, you know, where I went player of the year in the OHL, it was a lot of, like, going back, it was fun. You know, being the man, more of the alpha, being the man, you know, having that intimidation. In college, it's the last time where you have that, where the age can be the difference.
I know I talk to you about this often. It's still wild to me that you were a 50-plus goal scorer and you get your reports from the NHL or whatever, the NHL front offices, through your agent, I would imagine, and they say, you're a role player in the NHL.
No, that was where I fit in. Like
That's wild to me. The OHL is
I
the
wasn't
best
coming to
junior
be a
league.
scorer. It was how do I fit in? What is the thing? Is that okay? This is what they need. I always knew what this team needed. They needed a Robin to Bob Probert's Batman, and that was my gig since I was 12 years old.
But you were 50-plus goal scorer in the OHL.
Well, you have to do it so that when the big dogs can't get it done at the right time, you just pop up there and say, "Hey, I need to dive back into those 55-goal mittens there for a minute." Boom, slam dam. It happens. It's not. It's all about timing. That's all it is. But Maltz was a 50-goal guy in junior.
Yeah.
You know, and Drapes scored 20-some. I mean, if Drapes could score on a breakaway, he'd be a 50-goal guy. But that's not his role. It's more important for him to win faceoffs, from block shots,
And play pickleball.
Play pickleball.
By the way, on the cover of the supplement to Our Detroit magazine. Oh, by the way, Detroit City FC on the cover of Our Detroit magazine. The little attached insert is your boy Drapes with a paddleball racket.
Pickleball. He's a pickleball freak, dude, and it's the same
paddleball,
way.
pickleball, same thing.
Is that like if Chris Draper doesn't work out or do something, he'll get sick. If I do, If I work out or do something, then I'll get sick. I'll take care of all the stuff off. But yeah,
You say he's like a top 50 player or
top
something?
50 in the country or something like this. I went over to his house, I don't know, a little while, say last summer or whatever, to go over there to get something. There's a car pulling out, and Drapes comes out. He's like this, sweating, and he's like, "Yeah, I just had a 2-hour pickleball game." With who? My pickleball buddies, like that. And he's got a court out in the backyard. And,
of course.
Yeah, but he loves it. But that's the thing. And then, hey, that's the big thing. Shout out to him. Props to him.
Do your thing, man. If it's making you happy.
Have you ever played pickleball?
I have not.
They have it on TV.
Do they really?
I watched the doubles championship or whatever like this. A little too much maneuvering for me. Racket sports aren't my thing.
I played tennis growing up.
White ball, right?
Yeah, I did play tennis growing up.
Drapes and I, listen, Drapes when we used to work out in the summer all the time, and he always loved the racket sports, and when he didn't have anybody to play, he'd make me play against him. I'm not a racket sport player, Neil. He just run me around the racquetball court, we were running into walls, doing all this. He'd get right after a while when we were playing tennis, what I would do, he'd serve it, and I'd play baseball and hit every
smash
ball.
it out of the state tennis
every
courts.
Ball out, like 20 balls over the fence, so we couldn't play anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like racket sports.
Robert Closia did break it down. Very problematic because most agents do marketing, i.e. shoe deal endorsements and advertisements, and will now also get nil earlier. This is all part of why the NCAA, all part of what the NCAA did not want. And Robert, like I understand it, they probably did that little caveat to it where they can't do the agent thing and understand like that. But you know what you can do? You can do Gypsy Vodka. Summertime's here. There's no better way to enjoy a Michigan summer day than with Gypsy Vodka. Gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times, makes it the smoothest, best-tasting vodka on the market. Even got a cool-looking bottle, all that. But through all of it, you pour it in your glass, it's good. It's good in your Bloody Mary. As a matter of fact, Spence, do we have it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
somebody sent me this on social media. They were out and about in the town yesterday. They were perusing the Bloody Mary menu at the Detroiter. Bloody Mary's made with Gypsy Vodka. Told me they ordered it up just because of that.
Look at that.
There you go. Man, look at that, too, by the way. The Bloody Mary with asparagus, prosciutto, sausage, eggs.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's
for
a meal.
Mary. That's a meal and a drink.
That absolutely is. But the Gypsy Vodka was the selling point on it, guys. I'm being real. Gypsy Vodka's taken over the vodka world here in and around the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan. Try a bottle today, and as always, drink responsibly.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Matty, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Syntron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it already. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. You can host your corporate party, team building event, or just have a good time. There's multiple ways you can play. You can have $10 open unlimited play. You can stay there all day, play open and close, or a $120 lane reservation for up to 10 people. They have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer, no hassle, no fuss needed. You want the hassle, you want to make your decision, they have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose your drinks from. You can bring in any type of food you want. They don't worry about it. You bring it in, you have a good time. So come on down, check them out in Hamtramck, or go check them out online at fullingwarehouse.com. Again, that is fullingwarehouse.com.
Hey, yo, back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac. Just heard Spencer telling you about the Fulling Warehouse. We got Sam Flannel as well. Lots of pickleball love in the chat. Detroit Dabber, the super competitive pickleball is pretty intense. Rack saying they're putting a pickleball court at the park at the end of my street. I may have to get into it. A lot of people talking about it. I played tennis when I was younger. Tried pickleball. I'm pretty good at it. And people discussing this pickleball. I played a lot of tennis as a kid too, so maybe I'll give it a spin.
Well, I guess it's it's a combination between tennis. It's like the middle between badminton and tennis. So that's what to me that's what it represented. So it's not as fast and hard as tennis because there's a lot of play at the net and stuff like this. But you got to move around. So hey, to each their own. To each their own. You know what I'll be doing up in the stands? Woo-woo. Watching.
Chuck says, I'm a Michigan slappy, and I know what Dickinson is. You don't get more athletic with time. He is what he is. And I think he's going to be the next one if he came back this year, I assume he's going to come back next year. What's going to change, And then when that draft comes along, people will say, why don't you take Hunter Dickinson? It's the Garza effect, man.
I mean, he's not lying. Hunter Dickinson does have some deficiencies that you just can't teach. I mean, he's clumsy, he's not super athletic, but with a little bit more coaching, I think he can be better, but not great at pick and roll defense, for example. But that size, though, can't teach it.
Agree. 100%. Agree. Mike G is in our YouTube chat thread right now. Just, hello, my name is Tammy. Hello, my name is Clomp Sauce. Tammy was talking about getting name tags for people that come to the NFL draft party. And I fully support it, and somebody put the caveat on there. You have to use your chat name, 1,000,000%, because I want a picture with every single one of you that show up with the chat name tag.
So we know it. So part of the family. We're going to get a big photo, and we're going to hang it somewhere.
Put it up on the board or something like that.
So then when I see, oh, wait, who is that? Oh, there he is. Okay. I'm looking in the face.
Justin Baker, the municipality I work for, is putting in 6 pickleball courts at one of our parks.
Pickleball must be the new. Remember when we were tetherball around the pole when we were kids or at school? It's the new one.
Yeah, Machiavelli sucks to go. I played pickleball Sunday and Monday.
Ooh, back-to-backs.
Man.
Make sure you're using that ice that DMAC CBD roll-on. Get you back in the game.
Yeah, DMAC.
See, that's
I
it.
see you.
See, that's it.
I see you right there. Scotty Barnes won the Rookie of the Year, which I don't have a huge problem. I know certainly it made a lot of waves in Detroit. I don't have a huge problem with it. I do, however, have a huge problem. So Cade was left off of 3 ballots. Yes. Right, Spencer?
Yes.
Left off of 3
now, do we know who these ballots were?
I know one of them was Kevin Pelton.
Was that the guy with the clown face that Easy put on him, that clown show? Yeah. Where's he from?
Seattle, based out of Seattle.
Well, they don't have basketball team. No.
And they
don't know basketball.
Is it ESPN Seattle?
ESPN
so he's with the radio station, I would take it?
Yeah, I'm sure. He's an NBA insider. He covers the Pelicans.
Hey, put him on our list. Please put these guys on our list, please.
I will.
I will talk to young Cade in the future to see how we want to deal with this. But, Just so we know. Put him
I
on the
don't have
radar.
a problem with them not winning, per se. I have a huge problem with them not. How is Cade not on every single? How is Cade Cunningham left off of 3 ballots for Rookie of the Year? And more than that, how are those 3 people that voted? How do they not have their voting privileges pulled? You cannot justify that
All
to me.
we want here is a Roman Reigns WWE. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge Cade Cunningham that he should have been. Neil, the most atrocious thing is that he's not on everybody's ballot. Doesn't have to win. Agreed, because we talked about this the other day. What comes down to is how your team winning, right? Scotty Barnes being part of the Raptors, that takes him over the edge. We don't have a problem with it, but gosh darn it, if you don't throw respect on this kid's name, that's literally, you might as well slap him in the face. I want to know his name, the names of these people, not because I'm going to do anything. But the kid might want to know the name of these people because we might have something in common about shoving it up people's you-know-wheres with you-know-whats about that don't believe, and it's more of the big picture of it, and for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. It's just that lack of respect. But again, some people say, you want more respect? Do better.
Yeah, go take it. No, and I get that. And again, I don't have the huge... But these 3 people that left him off the ballot, it's clear. They should never vote again on this. Because why? Why would you? What have you shown that we know that you have any idea of what you're talking? That's egregious.
That is egregious.
Here's the question for everybody, though, right? Scotty Barnes won Rookie of the Year. Would you take Scotty Barnes over Cade Cunningham if you had to redo the draft?
No.
Absolutely not. You won. You won the draft, Pistons. We got and it's don't worry about the lack of respect because you see the greatest thing when stuff like this came out. What did Cade Cunningham himself treat? Detroit versus everybody.
Yep.
There you go. Let's get on board for that train. So I'm not worried about me having to tell him the names of these guys. He already knows, or he's got he knows that he's got something to prove. So. Blessing in disguise. It's just, Neil, the thing that's most frustrating is give the kid his respect. At least put him on the ballot.
Yeah. And like what you said, Neil, I'm not that upset that he didn't win it because it was close between him, Mobley, and Scotty Barnes. It was a close race. I could see any of them winning it. Him being off 3 ballots is disgusting. The fact that Scotty Barnes in his Rookie of the Month, the last month of the year, averaged what Cade averages on the season is a little suspect to me. It was 17, 5, and 5. That's what Cade averaged on the season, and you're telling me he was Rookie of the Month, but Cade isn't Rookie of the Year. I see these people not watching Detroit sports, not watching the impact that this guy's having on the Pistons, not seeing him bring up this Pistons team from them having 2 wins when he's not on the roster to being almost over 500 in the second half of the season when he's balling and he's there every day. And it kind of disgusts me that he's not getting his props, and he really deserves it. He fought hard, and it's never been to the point to where it's team success. Rookie of the Year has never been about team success until this year. And so I don't know if they added that, if they put that caveat on there before the voting, but I think it's a disservice to his season, the historic numbers he put up, being up there with Luka, LeBron, Magic, MJ, and these different stats, and you're not going to put him at least second in the voting. You're going to give him 9 total first place votes. It's a disservice. It really is.
Neil Rule's Second Furnace on our YouTube channel says awards are nice, but I'm chilling. The Pistons will be fine. And it's ironic that that's my Second Furnace talking about that. It must have heard me when I was upstairs in the kitchen talking about it with my wife when she was just kind of looking off into space and then asking me, what were you talking about after I got done talking? So it's weird that my Second Furnace would agree exactly with the take.
What's that?
That I
you
have.
know somebody's always listening.
Somebody's always listening to you. And I'm with you guys. I'm with my Second Furnace, weirdly enough. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I am going to be upset. And this ties into the whole Angel Hernandez thing that we were talking about before. In no world, if you're an NBA insider who covers the Pelicans, who lives in Seattle, in no world should Cade Cunningham not be on your Rookie of the Year ballot. Now that is, again, where I will draw the line. And you should have your voting privileges rescinded, pulled back, because that's a clown take, bro. That's a clown take.
It is.
No, that is the privilege. Like, you should. I guess there might be how they handle the work. We have the same question about Heisman every year and different things like that. Rake says the fact that 75% of the offense comes from kick. Rake, I could care less of your basketball takes. You just better tell Maddie, stay tuned. Oak Island's tonight. We gotta watch, and they're gonna find some stuff. And if you didn't know, guys, for the next season, the big machines are out there. But tune in. We're finding something. Portuguese Templar stuff. It's crazy. So, Rake, hope you're having a good trip. Maddie, we'll see you Oak Island. You too, Mama Jen, everybody else tonight, Tuesday.
Did you just make that up about Portuguese stuff?
No. Portuguese, that's where it came from, Portugal, and all the stuff and the ships and everything, where the Knights Templar and all this and that, it's coming together. I'll be giving you a big wrap up when we finally do get something. But yeah, it's
when we finally get something, because we haven't for 9 years. But tonight's the night.
To keep searching.
Tonight's the night.
The island presents many mysteries. We got a lot of top pocket finds in the Gary Drake.
So tell me, D-Mac, is tonight the episode where they dig up a piece of wood and they hold the piece of wood and they bring the camera in and they analyze like the little waves in the side of the wood and go,
maybe
you could tell that this wood was here in 1860.
Neil, I just hope they always find something old metal and then they go to Carmen Legg, the blacksmithman, because he knows everything about, it's been back since like 1340. So... we're all good. Tonight, Oak Island. That's what we got.
Is this man hallucinating over here or what?
No, you're not. You're not. I want you guys to feel better about three people out there.
Because they're going to
should not have their voting.
Hey,
license.
guys, next season they're bringing in the big rigs.
No, it is.
Now they're going to find something. I know they haven't in 9 years. They haven't. But next season, the 10th year, it's where it really pays off.
Hope so. Sort of like the Lions fandom. At least it's in shorter thing. I'm only in 9-10 seasons of this one. You guys are in 50. 70.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've never been more grateful for the sports marketing agency in my life. And not because they're out there to help people, and not because they want to educate with their podcast. This is the F word. It's a series on fentanyl, which is a serious problem, obviously, that's hampering our communities and really something that needs to be addressed. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone that is. They have the pieces in place that can try to help you out. Now we need the SMA to step up and handle these Oak Island people, I think, to some degree. But hey, they'll tackle the fentanyl stuff, and then we'll move on from there. But seriously, though, great job done by the people at the Sports Marketing Agency, spreading awareness about mental health and substance abuse. This is the F Word series on fentanyl. Need to check it out. Other addictions as well. TheSportsMA.com, the Sports Marketing Agency.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
What's up, guys? We're talking draft party coming up on Thursday. So Woodward Sports, Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness, where we're going to be, our home away from home, the Brass Rail. You know it, you love it, be down there. I'm always raving about their tater tots, but we're talking football and tater tots and everything else. When 7 p.m. this Thursday. Yes, from 7 until the 32nd pick is made by the Lions. So join Woodward Sports, hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for an NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit, where we can have our name tags of who we are by our YouTube names. Unbelievable. Because we'll all be there. You know, Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL Scott Bishop, Matt Stick, Jeff, Matty, Joey, Sammy Flannel, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail this Thursday. So we'll see you all downtown. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, Planet Fitness. Tell them, Woodward Sports. We're going to be there. Let's go!
Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, the Oak Island apologist, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. Happy to have you guys with us. Let me clean this stuff up real quick in the YouTube chat thread, and then we're moving on, everybody. Okay? I'll give you, here you go. Get your 60 seconds. Here you go. Here's Johnny. Oak Island is uncovering Knights Templar history.
It's absolutely.
YT Sparty. Another piece of metal on Oak Island! Exclamation
Top
point.
fucking fine, mate.
Chuck Brewer, 9 years. Neil, it's been over 200 years. Well, it's televised for 9 years. And still 200 years of coming up empty. 9 years of coming up empty on television. Close, as you talked about.
When they find gold, the Lions will win the Super Bowl. Oh, my gosh. There it is, Sam. You heard it here first. Top Easy tried to steal that one.
As Robert said, they're already bringing the rigs across the... Okay, yeah, I know they are. I know they are. Kurt Knoble, if Oak Island finds something of importance, it should make the news. Should it? I think we moved on. I think the world's moved on. Here's Johnny. Oak Island's already made history. Visitors before Columbus were there. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me care about the show anymore, though.
Watch, but don't worry about it. It'll all be in my roundup documentary when we're done.
Yeah, you know what? And guys, look, as much as you want to talk about Oak Island in the YouTube chat thread, you guys want to talk NFL draft. And you know I've done this before. We've called the audibles. I'm sure Spencer Raxter hates it. Makes his life harder than it needs to be. But let's bottom line this, because I hear you guys going through this right now. Let's just put all the cards on the table. Let's just do it. And I'm having these moments more as we get closer to the draft. That the pressure, the screws are tightening for everyone. So let's do it right now, everybody. Is Aiden Hutchinson a Hall of Famer? Is he a Hall of Fame football player? Just call it. Let's just put it out there right now. Because you people that love Aiden Hutchinson, you love him. The people like me, I just think he's an average player. Maybe a little bit better than average at best. That's where I am with it.
He's a piano carrier.
Okay, is he a piano carrier or is he a piano player? Like, which is it?
But if he was, who is the Hall of Famer in this draft? If there's one guy off the top of my head, if there's one guy that has the ability to be above from what I've seen out of any of them, I'd put my stock in Jordan Davis, just because of that position, that guy, what it is. But the fact that we go back to, it's so up in the air. Nobody really wants any of this draft as drafts go, right? The fact there is no Hall of Famer. It's all serviceable, great players. Now, maybe there is that talent, you know?
Ryan Sigler says,
is
Hutchins.
Drake London a guy that can, you hear his name come out? Is it one of these guys? There's good, serviceable Pro Bowl players, but is there a Hall of Famer even in this draft?
Ryan Sigler says Hutch is tied with Tibbs for the best potential. So, yeah. And if you're one of these people that are voting yes, and 39% of you say yes, Aiden Hutchinson's a Hall of Famer, give me the why. You guys know how I roll. Give me the why. It's like the nonsense yesterday on the bottom line. And Maz is my guy because he supports the Miguel Cabrera over Al Kaline. It's like the nonsense of people that are saying Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback than Goff, so go get Baker Mayfield. It's like that. Then give me the why. And give me the how. Give me the how and how you do something like that. That's what I'm asking for with this. Give me the why as to why is Aiden Hutchinson a Hall of Famer. 39% of you say he is. So give me the why. Sam Flannel, you're the Michigan Slap. I give you the floor.
Oh, boy. Saying he's a Hall of Famer is a bit of a reach, but I don't think he's going to be just a piano carrier or an average player, as you said, Neil. I think that's a little bit insulting. I think his upside is Joey Bosa, not Nick, Joey, because he had great production in college in his last year, 14.5 sacks. His measurables at the combine were actually very, very good. He has great size. I think he leads all defensive ends and edge rushers in the draft in pass rush win rate. He's good against the run. I think his upside is actually higher than some people say. Like I said, Joey Bosa. Joey. Not Nick.
Here's a question right off the rip, right? And Closely just said it. Are there any yellow jackets in this draft, right? When you look at this draft or whatever that you got to think about. When we were talking about drafts in the past, about yellow jackets, right? The first thing comes up with all the hype is you're immediately before it even played is you're putting, Trevor Lawrence, that with the hype he's got, he might be a yellow jacket. There's other guys in drafts. You could say 4 or 5 guys. Is there a yellow jackets in this draft? And The piano carriers, they get more respect. Those are 6, 7s, and 8s. They're not 9 or 10s. Right? Like, as far as it's not a scrub. He's not a scrub. He's a service. He's going to be, in my opinion, it comes down to the floor and the ceiling, right? It comes to which ceiling you're looking for. So in that aspect, when you don't, Neil, have the yellow jacket, to your point what you were saying before, then go for the ceiling guy. Right? Like, then you got to go for the ceiling guy and figure out where you're going to make a splash.
Dave Goulette in our YouTube chat threads, LOL this guy, I assume he's talking about me, asking if a dude that hasn't played a snap in the league is a Hall of Famer. That's nonsense from you. No, Dave, this is what you guys are telling me. This is what everybody who's saying we have to take Hutchinson, we have to take Hutchinson. Is he a Hall of Famer? I'm just asking the question. Like, I want to know. And look, 40% of you say yes. So it's in the ballpark of 50-50 of you that think that he's a Hall of Famer. And I'm not seeing it. And I want the how. And I want the why. Why is he a Hall of Famer?
How about this comparable? And I haven't seen it, but it struck with me. More of a Hutchinson's more of a Kyle Vanden Bosch, a leader, solid career guy. Even before when he was in Tennessee, before he came here but like a guy that you can count on that's going to be there on the end of the line. And to your point, Sam, I don't think you're wrong in saying that maybe the high end is Joey Bosa. They're a little bit different, a little bit. Bosa's a little bit lankier, but
so you're cool with paying that $10 million and $12 million on an option year
with that production.
Yeah,
with if he produces
if he's an average player,
if he's a Joey Bosa.
No, if he's an average player.
No, that's where we're not even talking about that. I'm saying that my conversation was that I will give you the comparable.
So Sam Flannel, sum it up then. He's a perennial Pro Bowler.
You're taking it back to if the question is he a Hall of Famer? If he's not a Hall of Famer, then that's what you're trying to get with your second pick of the draft. You're going to get, but in this draft, it's not there. So then, are you going to take and go to the salary cap, or if he's serviceable and he's that guy that
so
can produce
I guess
even
clarify
under,
to
I'm
me,
going to pay him that.
So clarify to me. So he's perennial Pro Bowl guy.
That's what I would say his upside is, like a Joey Bosa. And
so a borderline Hall of Famer.
I suppose so, but you can make 5 or 6 Pro Bowls and not be a Hall of Famer.
We're talking Pro Bowl.
Come on, Sam. I'll give you 3 seconds to walk that statement back.
All Pro. I agree with you.
3 seconds to walk that one back.
It's Pro Bowl, right? Which you don't have to. Don't we agree? Like
if you make 6 of them,
what?
If you make 6 of them, then you're in that stratosphere. You know what I'm saying?
But you're in that stratosphere, but you're not guaranteed. What I'm saying is that if you're an All-Pro, you're guaranteed.
See, I don't see that. I don't see that with him.
That's fair enough. I mean, a lot of people
that's
don't.
The whole thing is that, no, I don't see that either. Right? Aiden Hutchinson, if you drafted him in the middle of the first round or whatever like this, is where does he go in other drafts?
But then that's a different discussion for me because then that option year is $6 million.
But then you're taking everything into the draft thing. So with that consensus, the only pick at number 2 is Malik Willis. With that mentality,
the finances of it.
If you're so worried about what you're gonna pay this guy if he doesn't produce,
or the Jordan. See,
you're never worried about paying a guy if he does produce, are you?
No, I'm not.
No,
but I'm skeptical that he will produce.
Right. So then if you're skeptical on anything up front, then you take the least. Then you take the 5-year
biggest discount to market,
the quarterback,
the biggest discount to market. Sure, which obviously you guys know I would be a supporter.
That wasn't part of the question of the Hall of Fame. Are you worried about? The question should be: are you worried about drafting Aiden Hutchinson and paying him too much in the future?
Yes.
Will he earn his contract? It goes back to what you said.
Which I don't think he would.
Can we get guys to second contracts that we're happy with? Can we get guys that we're giving them second contracts that we're like, all right, for a small little thing, it's like a Charles Harris. Right? Come in, pay and play, 2-year deal, earn
second
that
contract.
2-year deal. Like little things like that, but on a bigger scale of your top end guys.
Chuck says, solid career, not a gold jacket wearer. Jack Harrington says, you guys are Michigan slaps. Brandon says, you guys, Hutchinson is not Jared Allen. Allen is one of the strongest players to play that position in the NFL. And Patty Grimes, I think, says it well. I'm going to eat my cream of wheat and watch the NFL draft.
Yeah. Hey, can somebody bring a cream of wheat to the party on Thursday? Neil
God, I
said
hope
he'd
not.
eat a bowl of cream of wheat
If somebody
brought it.
brings cream of wheat to the draft, I will eat a bowl of it with them, yes.
We should all have a spoonful. We should have a group cream of wheat thing. Whatever. Anyways.
Update the poll. Is Aiden Hutchinson a Hall of Famer? 38% of you say yes. So 1 in 3 of you say yes.
I don't see it. I mean, like you said, I think he'll be a solid player. I think he'll be a 10 to 12 sacks a year guy at his best. But I can't see him being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but 10 to 12 sacks a year, you take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd take that. I wouldn't pay him a second contract worth a ton of money. We have enough 10 to 12 sack a year guys on our team already. You know, we need a 16 sack a year guy. That's who you should be drafting with the number 2 pick.
Yeah, but you can't draft if it's not there.
That's fair.
But, talking about Thursday, you want to look good, guys. And as you know, we broadcast this show live from the headquarters of Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Birmingham. Definitely awesome to get off the air and get myself looking great by one of their talented stylists. I highly recommend you get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men near you and let them treat you like a king. Also, open from 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You walk in, you relax, you sign in, you sit down, you watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair is game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Take a look around, folks. You see the beautiful stickers in the studio. Yes, that is all because Sticker Genius is the official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. Go to their website, stickergenius.com, and you too could have all this great stuff. Turn around, boom, about 24 hours so you can get them when you need them. Sticker Genius. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Sam Flannel, the fence rider, and of course we have Spencer Baxter as well. Perry in our YouTube chat poll. Perry in our YouTube chat thread. Hey Neil, the poll says no, not yes. But more than 1 in 3 of you say that yes, he is a Hall of Famer. That's absurd to me. That's absurd. And it's absurd to a lot of people in the YouTube chat thread too. So, I'm just going by what you guys are saying. YT Sparty, Hutch can be good without Hall of Fame. I mean, certainly he could. Certainly he could. But good. Again, at the end of this contract, guys, you have a $12 million option in front of your face. $11 million last year. I want a little more than good for that, right?
I mean, that's fair, but what if Aiden Hutchinson has the production of like an Ndamukong Suh?
Playing the wrong
Ndamukong Suh is on a different
like
level.
all-pro defensive player?
No, I'm talking about like
Hall of Fame career.
Ndamukong Suh is a borderline Hall of Famer. He's definitely not guaranteed. He had a bit of a decline after he left Detroit and went to Miami and Tampa Bay. He's still been very, very good. I'm just saying that Aiden Hutchinson can be worth the pick.
If you tell me he's Ndamukong Suh, then hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm on board with that.
Obviously,
but he ain't Ndamukong Suh.
Well, obviously they're different players.
They're different players, but I'm saying at that level.
I'm talking production-wise. That's what I meant. I think, you know what? Aiden Hutchinson can make the Hall of Fame. I'll say it. I will say it. And I do believe it. Because you're right. If I say he's going to be a 5 or 6-time Pro Bowler, you can at least start having the Hall of Fame conversations at that point.
I am getting a notebook. And I need to do this. And it's on me. I'm getting a notebook. And I'm writing all this stuff down, the madcap stuff that people say. Like Sam Flannel right now is calling for it. He says, yes, he can be a Hall of Famer. That's a little weak take on your part.
Well,
He
everybody can be a Hall of
anybody can be a
Famer.
Hall of Famer.
You know what I mean, though. Anybody can be a Hall of Famer, but I said that, if he's a top 2 pick, he can be a Hall of Famer.
Has anyone thought about, what has to do with what goes on around him also? Right? And like he's going to be a piece, whoever we choose here is going to be a piece of the puzzle, not the puzzle. Right? No,
Well, and theoretically too. I mean, Charles Harris would be on the other side from him, right? Theoretically,
how is it gonna? That's what I'm saying. Is that like why will it work to what you're saying? Not just spitting it out, but why will it work because of what's being put together on the other end? But like I said, if you mentioned Ndamukong Suh, I don't see it that way, but I see a Jordan Davis. You get a guy you solidify that line. Hutchinson has the ability to be better when has better guys with him, right? Look at what he did, and with a guy look at Ajabo. Hutchinson did what he did, but the fact that you have another guy who people have to watch for on the other side of your counterpart only can benefit you, right? So all eyes aren't on you. So I think it's Hutchinson's case. It all goes to the success, especially early, is what's put around him and being part of that team. Now, he has the most upside that I think to plug and play into the team concept. But is he a Hall of Famer? So does that the end all be all? No. Do you think you can get that guy out? Is that guy out there? Maybe. That's the questions that need to be answered by Brad Holmes.
Right. GJT2801. Okay, Neil, who is a Hall of Famer then? I don't know. That's somebody from Woodward, and I apologize that I missed the name on it. The comments are coming pretty fast and furious, as you might expect here as we get so close to the NFL draft. Talked about Kyle Hamilton is the Hall of Famer of the draft.
Ryan Lentz. He said Sauce and
Kyle Hamilton
are the 2 Hall of Famers in this draft. So I mean, he trolls a lot though. So.
Yeah. Okay.
but stats wise or whatever, maybe he's right.
But you can make it. You know what I mean? To be fair, the Kyle Hamilton thing,
it's not.
He's got just as good a shot as anybody else.
And the Sauce Gardner thing, because I don't care what it is when Alabama does not throw to your side.
That
Alabama being
man.
a pro football, Nick say it tells me something that I'm going to watch this kid.
It's not.
That's it.
It's not a bad
until
thing.
he gets roasted up and proves to me that he's not. There's something there. And the fact he's got Detroit ties makes it even more.
Yeah, I do have a little PTSD from the Jeff Okudah experiment, obviously, with that. And that's it. And look, that's very anti-me, how I am typically. It's a little tender still. The wound is still a little tender. And to think that Jeff Okudah, I think next year will be $9 million against your salary cap, and there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe he comes back. Hey, maybe he comes back. I saw the video, like everybody else saw the video. But we're going to need a little more. I think that's safe to say.
Here's the even bigger piece to the Lions if they can, they'll move on without him or whatever. But it's almost like the Jacob Verana with the Wings this year, right? You could have that talented guy. With Verana, you knew because of what he produced at the end of last season, because of being a Cup champ or whatever. But having your high prolific star supposed to be out, what if he does come back and he is healthy and he does make an impact? Then pretty much you drafted, you got a number 2 and a number 3 pick right there. So I still hold until he's gone, and from everything we're hearing that he's going to put everything on the line, and hopefully he can come back, and hopefully it's a part of being healthy, but also having an Aaron Glenn to believe in him.
Right, but also hope is not a strategy.
What's that?
Hope is not a strategy.
No, but
I've been told.
But that's why you're moving on because of that. He's a caveat now. He's an afterthought. He wasn't even their draft guy.
The salary cap says he's not.
He's an afterthought to the fact that he's been hurt or whatever. So anything you get out of him is a bonus. You're not hoping and going, oh my God, we're putting all our eggs in our basket on Jeff Okudah, but you're going, man, if we can get this kid, and I think it's more than hope. Because I think you see what it's done.
Fourth highest paid Detroit Lion this year.
So there you go. And whose fault's that? Not this regime.
No, and
so
it's mutually exclusive, no doubt.
Explain that, too, when we're moving forward, is that if they can capitalize on the talent, they didn't do the contract, but use the best of it, because if not, Neil, tell me what is moving forward next year, whatever, if you bottom out or didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because it's getting to that, and that's always fun, having your third overall pick where you don't sign to a second contract.
And I'm leaning, and YT Sparty says Jordan Davis locks up that position for 5 to 10 years. And if solid is your route, for real, and I've warmed up to this.
That's where I'm going. That's my.
If solid is your route,
Davis number 2.
If you want the least amount of questions in my mind, if solid is your route, ... then I've come full circle on that. If you want solid, if you want safe, if you don't care about the money, and you just want to do the pick of what you think you'll get the most out of, then I think that Jordan Davis is the guy.
So do I.
I do.
So do I. So my question is that this is where the manipulation, whatever like this is. If you're going to try the best of both worlds, is that, and we agree that can you get him elsewhere than number 2? And using your 32nd, 34nd, whatever like this, can you get a couple guys? We'll wait and see. But I think that that's the guy out of anybody who is the bona fide, pro, maybe Hall of Famer in that class.
YouTube chat poll, will Aiden Hutchinson make the Hall of Fame? 37% of you say yes, 63% say no. So it's, 1 out of 3 of you think that he is. And in this studio, Sam Flannel.
37 people are very smart and wise. 37% of the people are very smart and wise.
And there you go. Okay. Mark Guy in this topic. Draft Malik Willis. I'm salty. I'm still taking Malik Willis at 2. And if we're gambling, I would take Malik Willis before I took Hutchinson. Yes, I would. Before I would do that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, because that sort of plays into because you're also playing the long game, and that takes out. And to me, that tells you which fork in the road you're making the right turn. You're going draft.
Right. That's me. That's where I'm going. But if we do want to do the safe thing, then I'm Jordan Davis. So that's where it is. Final segment of the show coming up. When we come back, let me tell you about Syntron, though. The summer of Syntron is here. It was officially started Sunday when it got over 80 degrees. I don't know if you knew that or not. Now, Syntron's available at Kroger. Make sure you pick it up while you're out shopping. Right now, you can give it a spin. Try it. 2 Syntrons for $4. That's right. Give it a spin. I think that you'll like it. Syntron's a new energy drink for the active lifestyle. They are the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, Detroit City FC, proud partners with the Pistons. You see the ads everywhere, behind the goal at Little Caesars Arena, as you watch the puck go in against the Red Wings continually. There you are, the Syntron ad, getting a lot of viewership during the television broadcast. Syntron, drink it, live it with Syntron. Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
Neil Rule here for Wing Snob. And look, it takes a snob to know a snob. At least that's what I've been told. They have fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken, the best traditional wings, the best sauces too. Jamaican jerk, lemon pepper, strong to quite strong. Green Arrow, trending up. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you choose. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. You can order online right now at wingsnob.com. And today only at the Southfield location, 545 West 12 Mile Road. Today, free 6-piece boneless wings. Just pull up on them. No purchase necessary. Only at the Southfield location, 545 West 12 Mile Road. Walk-in only, not valid via third-party delivery services. Again, at that location only, 1 per person. Must be present, obviously, if you got to roll in there and pick them up. Yeah, you have to be present to do it. Offer is valid today, only April 26th. April 26th, today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings. Final segment of the show. This stuff will all come to rest on Thursday night. As somebody told me today, happy Draft Eve. You believe it?
Draft Eve. 2 more sleeps?
2 more sleeps.
Right on. A little Oak Island night, little AEW tomorrow. Bang, right into the draft. Look at that. Got it all figured out. Hey, let me send a shout out. I want to send a happy birthday out to Tommy Pops Law, 88 today, and Christine Altamar Felsner. Yes, happy birthday, Christine. I hope you and Bill are doing well.
I also got a shout out. It's my mom's birthday today, so happy birthday, Mom. Jacqueline Raxter.
Happy birthday, Jacqueline.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
Happy
creating
birthday to
such a
moms.
great offensive line.
All county.
Flintstone said Neil is selling U of M hate to Sparties and anyone else who is willing to listen. Is it hate? Is it
truth?
For Michigan fans,
Perspective. Love.
realistic takes on their players
Are
are hate. Yeah.
Okay,
It is
so
what
that
it is.
explains the scale to me.
Like if you told me Kenneth Walker is not going to be a Hall of Famer, I wouldn't call it hate. I would call it reasonable. But it is what it is.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
saying, I got a family full of Michigan grads, and I know how they are. And it's
I mean, yeah, when you start rolling out to 34, like Daxton Hill, I wouldn't hate that.
No, Daxton Hill. If Brisker's gone, I personally like Brisker more.
Well,
but if
you
Brisker's
hate
gone-
Michigan.
Yeah,
Because you have somebody else in front of him at the safety spot.
Yeah, I know it's tough. I like Dax Hill. I mean, I'll take him if Brisker's not there for sure.
Yeah, because now you're talking about a safety at $1.5 million per year, as opposed to 11.
What are the odds of the Lions trading out of 2?
Nobody wants these guys, D-Mac.
So, I mean, I'm just asking.
Yeah, 0.
0. Now you hear Jacksonville. The big buzz now is that they're looking at Trayvon Walker at number 1, which even goes to my conversation of you don't know what's going to happen until it happens. I think Jacksonville's trying to get out of number 1 as best as they can, but nobody wants it, right? Isn't this a weird year going
It
into
is.
the draft? And is that because it dictated more so to the needs at the top or the availability? And I think it's availability of what players are available. Most of this draft is, there's good players in this draft to fill out your team, but again, they're piano carriers, not piano players.
Flintstone picking Jordan Davis over Hutch. What is that? I feel as though that Jordan Davis is safer in that we know what he is. Safer than Aiden Hutchinson is. Because when Aiden Hutchinson, and look, you can say, and I gave him credit for what he did against Ohio State. That was cool. The game at home, all that kind of stuff. When they win against Georgia, when they win against the guys that he's going to be playing on Sundays, he was taken out of that game. He no-showed in that game. And I don't want to hear, and the go-to is, well, they game plan for him. Yeah, what do you think they're going to do in the NFL? If you're good, if you're Hutch, if you're all that, what do you think they're going to do in the NFL, man? Like, come on, guys.
Here's the thing with the knocks on Jordan Davis about the downs that he played or whatever like this. Nobody, when I hear about him, nobody's talking about his ceiling. Nobody thinks this kid's going to get better. This kid's going to be around. He's going to learn, different things. Everybody's worried because he's so big. But with that talent and you throw a work ethic in there in the right spot, man, this kid's got the potential to be an even bigger beast. I mean, that's the one thing. It's almost like everybody's looking at some people as, well, they're fully done. It's like they're at the end of their career. They've reached their total potential. All these kids haven't. It's just which one's got the bigger upside to what you need. That's like the safer pick. Maybe that's what we need is a safer pick, the solidified pick. I just like the fact, like I said, talking to Rob Sims, former lineman, is just that imagine having the dogs up front on both sides of the ball. Then you got chance to put the rest of it together.
Looking at the chat, it's just proving my point about what I said about Michigan fans. Walker's a second-round pick. Walker's a late second-round pick. Walker equals Hutch? Okay, because that's not what I said. Everybody knows.
You never said his name once.
No, yeah, it was.
I said Jacksonville's.
No, I was talking about Kenneth Walker.
Yeah,
and how if you would have told me he's not a Hall of Famer, I wouldn't have been mad at you. But that's what it is. I mean, I'm realistic. I know he's a second-round pick. I know running backs aren't valued. I know he's going to have a 7 to 8 year career, and
Tops.
I think he'll be good.
Tops.
Yeah, I think he'll be good, but he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. You know.
So there you have it. And for me, again, it's just the Jordan Davis thing. I feel he's the safest pick in the first half of the draft.
You
just in
asked me
terms
today,
of
and
he's excellent at what he
gonna
does.
ask me on Thursday when we talk to Scott Bischoff, or we talk about it tomorrow. He's my guy right now. And to Mike G, Drapes is always the safer pick than D-Mac, but you might not win as much without me.
Yeah. So, and hey, as Drake says, we gonna see.
We gonna see.
We are gonna see. We are gonna see on Thursday. Appreciate everybody tapping into the show. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right, Drake. We gonna see. Appreciate everyone tapping into the show today. YouTube channel, YouTube chat thread, social media, all of it. Love all y'all. Thanks, and we'll see you Thursday night. That is right. The NFL Draft Show for D-Mac, for Sam Flannel, for Spencer. My name's Neil Rule. Thanks for listening and watching to Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.